Matthew Bauman. Welcome to my tech talk on a website called Socrative. Socrative is perfect for delivering formative assessments and checking for student understanding in real time. The website offers immediate feedback to both the student and teacher, which not only saves the teacher time, but helps the student to immediately know how well they understand the material. I'm going to log in right here to my teacher account, and then once I do that, every teacher gets a room code. Then the students log into your specific room and have access to the quiz that the teacher created. My cooperating teacher at Mounds View High School uses Socrative quizzes frequently as an opener and to remind the students what they learned about the previous day. Over the years, she's made quizzes for most days, and so uses them if she has something that she has to take care of before class, and can start as a way to keep the students engaged and learning even while she accomplishes a different task. There are 3 different assessment options for the teacher to consider, as you can see here. The first is a quiz. They also have an option of an exit slip, but it functions the same way as a quiz. This is a traditional individual assessment where the students answer the questions at their own pace, and then it shows up on the teacher's page, whether the student answered the question correctly or incorrectly, as shown on this screen. The green answers are correct, while the red are incorrect, and so the teacher can quickly see who is understanding the material and who is not. This allows for easy follow-up with each student and to help them understand what they need to work on. For fill-in-the-blank questions, such as question 5, the teacher can go through and mark whether every answer is correct or incorrect to make it more accurate, since the student could easily write a synonym. Since the whole point of the system is to give immediate and accurate feedback, the teacher has to go through and mark whether it was correct or not to make sure that the feedback is accurate. In addition, the teacher can then go through the results with the class and go question by question and show how many got it correct. So for example, for this first question, we can see the question and then click on how do we do, and then it shows up, oh, one of the 3 people got this question correctly, so we should probably go over this again. Where for question 2, all 3 people got that correct. So that's a question you would not have to review in the future. You can continue to do that for question 3 and 4 and question 5. So you can see this one as a fill-in-the-blank question, that 2 of them answered correctly, 1 of them did not, and you can show the names then if you wanted to, which you wouldn't do in front of the whole class, but you could do if you were doing it just by yourself, looking over the results. The second option is called the space race. This encourages competition as students, either individually or as a group, gain points. This mode is similar to Kahoot in that it goes question by question, and then after each one shows how well each group did. The third option is called quick question. The teacher has the chance to ask one multiple choice, true, false, or short answer question, such as the fill in the blank as I showed earlier, and the students are able to answer that one question. This is a very fast way to check to see if students understand one specific question and could be used in many different ways, whether it's as a starter at the beginning of the day, wraps up the day, or even as a break in the middle to check to see who is paying attention. Some of the benefits of Socrative are that it has a heavy emphasis on student engagement. Students interact with the website and it gives them immediate feedback so that both the student and the teacher very quickly know how well they are doing. We already saw the example for a teacher, but for a student, if we log in as a student, then we can go to my room code, which is Bauman 2280. We can join and then insert your name. So I'll type in my name, and then this will show up the question. So what is the world's longest river? And so if I think the answer to that is Mississippi River, I can click on that and then submit answer, and it'll show up, oh, that's incorrect, and the correct answer is actually the Amazon River. Where for the second question, the diameter of the Earth is 8,000 miles, if I click true, and that's the correct answer. So it's a very interactive website for both the student and the teacher. This can be used either as an informal assessment or as a formal quiz. My methods cooperating teacher has used it multiple times as an informal assessment. My first cooperating teacher from Ed Foundations used it not only as an informal assessment, but as the way that he administered his summative tests. This made it so that the students knew what their score was, and it saved him time because he didn't even have to run the test through the Scantron. It is mostly used as an informal assessment though, and can be best used to check for understanding. It is a great way for teachers to confirm what the students know, but more importantly what they don't know, before the test occurs. My Ed Foundations teacher used it frequently as a way to check to see if a student can identify which geographic feature is a plateau, for example, to check for understanding of that specific concept. It can also be a confidence booster for the students because if they do well in the formative assessment, they'll have more confidence going into the summative, at least on the concept portion of it. A different way that a teacher can use Socrative is through a pretest to see how well the students understand the material before the teacher teaches it. This can help them to understand what they need to focus on more and what the students already know, and thus just need to touch on for those who don't understand it coming in. Another benefit is that teachers can share quizzes with each other. One way that they can share quizzes are that teachers can add tags to each game. One of the tags that a teacher can add is for the common core standard that the game meets. So for example, right here is the quiz that I created, and so I can add, once I click on it, I can add a standard that I can align this quiz with so that in the future, if I'm going back, I can look through and see what standards I've made quizzes for. They can also add which unit or the concept that the quiz applies to, which allows for teachers to sort through quizzes that were already created for the concept that they are teaching about. A couple of potential challenges for Socrative is that to get the best version, including the ability to export the results to Excel, is $60 a year. They have a lot of sales though and is currently on sale for $30, but being able to export to Excel is a really handy feature, especially if you plan to use it for formative assessment. Or for formal assessment, excuse me. It can also be too competitive, especially the space race game, and the students can focus more on winning and thus relying on their team rather than learning the actual material. Since groups get more points based on how fast they answer the question, the smartest person in the group can dominate, and no one else might know the answer to the question, but that one person can carry the team. Students can learn in a lot of different ways through using Socrative. The easiest application is to check to see what they have already learned. Socrative is designed to be an assessment to check for understanding, which will help them to know if they are on track to succeed on the summative assessment. In addition, Socrative can be used as a way to not only check to see what students know, but what they don't know. This allows for them to know what to study and what they need to focus on and understand better. So for example, in this example, Sam Johnson would need to study quite a bit, where Sarah Nelson understands what all the concepts are, so she wouldn't have quite as much to go through. Where the teacher can look at this and see this first question, students really didn't do very well. So like I mentioned earlier, maybe they should go back and talk about what the world's longest river is. Finally, it can help the teacher to understand the concept and to make sure that they understand every concept before they move on to a new topic. This is really important, especially if the concepts build on each other, because if the students don't understand the first idea, they don't have any chance to understand the second. Socrative is an excellent tool to check for student understanding and gives the teacher quick and easy access to know how well the students and the class in general are doing. Overall, I would recommend Socrative for a lot of different uses in a classroom, but especially to make sure that the students are understanding material and you can get that feedback quickly and clearly in a very short amount of time. Thank you for listening and have a great day.